Hi guys, welcome back. So new week and today is Blue Monday. And although here in the UK it's January, doesn't feel the best energy-wise, and Christmas is unfortunately a distant memory for us here. It's all about mindset. And that's what I guess you guys have been learning as we've been going through, right? We're at that halfway point and our mindset's so powerful. So we're going to kind of adjust that today and really start to lean into not necessarily a positive vibe, but just leaning back in to our intention, to lift our mood, to lift our energy of a start of a new year, and how we're doing with tuning in, reflecting, working on things, finding abundance in all of that rather than a sense of lack. So I'm Natalie Simmonds. I'll be taking you through today's practice. When you're ready, join me on your mat, lying down. You might want a strap for this practice. So if you do have one at home, grab it, pop it by your mat. If you don't, you'll be able to do everything without a strap. So lying on your back, bending your knees as soon as you arrive. Just shuffle your shoulders away from the ears here. And then start to come into your breath. So taking a big inhale into the belly. If you want to place one hand there to feel it rise, you're more than welcome to. And then exhale, just feel it soften, sense of surrender as it draws down towards the mat. And again, inhaling, feeling a sense of space. And exhaling away. Taking 3 more rounds of breath here as you just really allow the pelvis and the tailbone to melt away into the mat. Same with the back of your skull, lengthening through the back of our neck. A really nice way to start and complement our text message body or being at our computers, or if you've done a lot of commuting or traveling in the car over the Christmas period, just starting to realign all of that. When you're ready, start to take the fingertips up towards the ceiling for me, drawing the shoulders down the back. So we want to feel this squeeze, this lift up as we draw the shoulders away, protract, and then retract as you draw and pinch your shoulder blades towards one another. So a sense of separating through the shoulder blades, pulling down through the abdominals, and then releasing. Take one more like that. Big extension. And then from here, you're going to wrap your right arm over your left arm and catch the back of the shoulders here, lifting the elbows. And that's going to probably feel like a really nice stretch for these shoulders, especially if you've been practicing quite a lot with us. This will be like a really nice release of that upper body. Take one more breath here. See if we can allow the ribs to melt further down into the mat beneath you. And then reaching the fingertips right back up. And as we do, we'll do the opposite arm. Your left arm will come over your right arm. Hands come to the back of the shoulder blades, lifting the elbows. So it's like you're trying to send them up, away from you, drawing your ribs down towards the earth. Inhale as deeply as you can here. Exhale away. And then allow the palms to release and come back by your side on your mat. Now pressing into the palms, rolling to the outer edge of your shoulder joint. So just drawing it down, that glenohumeral joint into the mat. Press into your feet, make sure they are hip distance apart, not too far away from you. If you've got your hands by your side, your heels should kind of line up with the edge of your middle fingers. Now tilt down through the tailbone, start to curl and lift right off the mat, finding your bridge pose. Pressing through the palms, extending up through the hips. Get a sense of space coming around the front of our body, a place we tend to shorten a lot of the time from how we sit, our habitual tendencies in the day, our daily lives. So taking one more breath here, feeling the glutes and the hamstrings switch on. Great, and then I want you to start to roll down through the spine, going through the vertebrae. And as we get there, we're going to give our tailbone a little bit of a tilt. So we tilt the pelvis away, so it's an arch. And as we exhale, we curl under. So a bit like a cat and cow, but we're lying down, doing it against gravity here. We tilt, and we exhale, we curl away. Again, taking one more here, tilt. And exhale, curl away, begin to lift your hips off the mat. This time, reach your arms overhead with you. Maybe they come to the floor, maybe they don't, that doesn't matter. don't sweat it, don't worry. And exhale, roll through the spine. So your ribs are first and your hips are last as you press your palms away with some resistance there. Inhale, lifting up. So it's as if you're moving your arms through water, that natural resistance that you find. And then exhale, rolling down through the spine. One more. Inhale. And exhale, beginning to roll all the way down through the vertebrae. And as you do, just take a moment here. Option to let your knees fall out to the side, soles of the feet together, hands on the belly, or stay exactly where you were, just for a second. Tapping back into our breath, our pranayama once again. So our breath can be the most transformational tool that we have. So really anchor and lean into that. We have the ability to change our energy, to change our moods every time we commit to being on our mat. So just take one more breath here. Allowing that to resonate with you in some way. And then when you're ready, bringing the knees back towards one another. Come back to having them face the ceiling. We're going to take our left leg long and hug our right knee in towards our chest here. Take your elbows out to the side slightly. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, just curl up, nose towards the knee, and roll back down. And as we do this, I want you guys to keep as much space for your collarbones as possible. Again, exhale, curl up, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off your mat, reaching this left heel away. Last one, we're going to inhale, exhale, we roll up, and as we do, we're going to reach the fingertips away, and perhaps you also add in this leg, reaching the heel up towards the ceiling. Maybe you're lifting the bottom leg off as well. Keep extending towards the toes. Draw back through navel to spine. And then as we lower, here's where you might want your strap. We're going to locate the top toes. And just take a bit of a stretch through the hamstring here. So if you want to, hook your strap over your leg. Otherwise, using the hands to either come behind the thighs, towards the ankles, or catching the toes. Up to you here. Just allowing yourself to find some length. You can bend this top knee if you need to. Taking one more breath. As we breathe out, release that leg. Let it come all the way down your mat, going on to the other side. Bringing this opposite knee in, so reach the right heel away. We're flexing that ankle, hard flexing it so we can make sure we are square through our hips. Take an inhale as we exhale, pull in the shin, lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, and then lower back down. Inhale, exhale, keeping the back of the neck long, shoulders sliding down the back. Release, let's take one more. Inhale, exhale, this time we're here to stay. Reaching the fingertips, perhaps reaching this top leg, and then adding in the bottom leg if you want to, finding this lift. Inhale. Exhale, feel your 2 points of energy reaching away from the center line, from you. One more breath. And as we come down, perhaps locating your strap now, or holding the hands behind the thigh or the ankles or the toes. Trying not to fight with this stretch. We have a habit of having a goal in our head of where we want to be, but we want to be there right now. And instead, enjoy the journey and notice how your body responds when we're not approaching it with such a tightened grip. We start to feel a sense of ease, and we get there eventually. So just take one more breath, softening through the shoulders, the jawline. And as we release the legs, bring your knees in if you feel like you need that for a second. We're all going to roll to one side and meet in all fours. So as you come up, take the hands underneath the shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Taking a round of cat and cows just to release anything else in the spine. As we do this, start to really press down through the palms. So there is energy rooting down into our mat, sense of Hasta Bandha there, opening up through the collarbones and exhaling away. And then as we come back to center, we're tucking the toes under to that space in between. Again, neutral spine and pelvis. We float the knees up off our mat and press harder into the heels of the hands and the finger pads so that you can actually protract the shoulders and feel your abdominals doing a lot of the work here. Great. If you're too high, if you're here, drop those knees down a little bit for me. Taking one more breath. Okay, guys, lift the hips high. If you need to, walk it out. Bending one knee, then the other, wiggle the hips. And then as we meet, again, option here to bend the knees. That's absolutely fine. You can bend your knees. Otherwise, keep reaching the heels away in the direction of the mat. Really responding to these 4 points, pressing down into the earth, tailbone peeking up nice and high. From here, I want you to inhale, ripple forward through the spine. Bend your knees and draw your tailbone back. So we begin that lordotic arch here as we draw up and back. Head comes down in the direction of the earth. Again, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, draw back. Releasing through the back of your neck every time. Let's take one more ripple forward. Exhale, bend the knees, take it back, drive it all the way up. And then just pausing here for a moment, I want you to lift your heels as high as you can. And exhale the heels over towards the left. So pressing the heels away, still squaring through the palms and the shoulders. Getting a bit of a side stretch there. And then inhale, lift up to the opposite direction. Pressing the feet away, drawing the hips up and back. Coming back to center. From here today, we're going to lower down onto all fours. Reach our right leg away and reach our left arm away if we can. So heel in line with the hip. Hopefully our bicep in line with our ear here, and your palm is facing towards the right as we square the hips and the shoulders. As we exhale, bring elbow towards the knee and inhale it right back. Try to keep a gaze down at your mat so the back of the neck's long and you're not here lifting your chin. Keeping space. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale. And as the toes come down, bring your left palm to the center of your chest. We're going to pivot on our bottom foot, bringing our right arm up towards the ceiling, pressing our right heel away. So getting a nice big opening through the side body here, finding some space. So this one's a really nice flow to just help us find the calm, to enjoy the pause a little bit more. Reach your right palm towards your right thigh, flip your left palm, take it up and over. It's kind of like a modified reverse warrior here. Exhale, take it back to your mat. Again, inhale, take it up and over. And exhale, take it back. And this time, start to see if you can lift that leg up in the air, reaching the heel away a little bit further. Keep pressing down into your mat. If your wrists are feeling a little bit delicate, you can give me a fist or even take one of your blocks here to elevate you. Blocks can be so useful for things like that, so add it in if you've got one at home. Start to bring your knee towards your elbow. Reach it right out. One more. Knee towards the elbow. Reach it up and back. And now this time you're going to bring your knee towards your abdominals without the arm. And see if you can pivot and bring it right round towards the top of your mat. And Asana, our low lunge. So we're reaching the arms up. We're softening through the shoulders, hugging the hips forward and down here for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, bring the fingertips down to the top of your mat. Keep your chest open, reaching forward, and just pull the hips back, flexing through the front foot. And again, inhale. And exhale, driving back through the hips, reaching the heel away. So as we do this, don't worry if you need to add your blocks in here. Don't worry if you aren't fully extending this leg due to your hamstrings. That's okay. Keep a soft bend if you need. And we're going to pause for a moment here. Have a sense of tilting your tailbone up and back. So we can create some space and really get into the hamstrings that little bit more. Option to stay or bring your left palm down to the mat or a block like what I have here. Reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling. That feels a little bit trickier. You're balancing here. It's going to feel a little bit wobbly perhaps. So just explore that. Take one more breath. As we breathe out, bring your palm down, bend straight back into your front knee. Shift your block forward, plant your palms, tuck the back toes, and step back to your plank position. Take an inhale. Exhale, knees, chin, and chest, or come all the way down onto the front of your body. And inhale to your cobra or your baby cobra. We're just going to come up and take it down a few times. So we inhale, we lengthen, back of the neck's nice and long, elbows are hugging in towards us, and then find more space on the way down to really reaching the sternum forward. Keep pressing into the tops of your feet. Keep your hamstrings active, your glutes active. And on this last one, if you want to, bring your palms back slightly more. As we come up into our full cobra, we can use the hands a little bit more. We feel this hug in of the elbows. You should feel your triceps here. Make sure your shoulder joint is rolling up and back. If that's too far, take it back down. Take one more breath. And exhale. Coming all the way down towards the mat, pressing into the fingertips. Tuck your toes and drive your hips back, dropping the forehead to the mat. This should feel quite nice on the spine, finding some length here. Taking an inhale, exhaling to reset if you need that. Taking one more breath. Start to roll up through the spine. Meet me back in your 4-point kneeling on your next inhale. Left leg's going to start to reach away from you now. See if you can sweep your right arm up your mat, right palm facing the left. Gaze is down in the direction of your mat. Exhale, tap knee to elbow as we tiger curl. Inhale, reach the 2 points away. So we're kind of really sending that energy in 2 different directions. Creating space, creating length in the body. Take one more. Inhale, see if you can pause for a moment. Keep extending. Inhale. As we exhale, lower the toes and that right palm to the center of your chest. And then we pivot on that underneath knee, coming to the inside edge of that outside foot. Reach your left arm towards the ceiling. Keep the hips driving high here. Really pressing that back heel away. And then we start to reach this arm over towards our thigh as we reverse and flip up. Getting a nice side bend there. Again, take it down to your mat or your block, whatever you're using, over. And inhale, take it all the way up. This time we're going to take it over to stay. As we do, reach your arm over your ear if that feels nice, or keep it to the sky. And lift this top leg. Finding space, reaching the heel away. Draw the ribs in and start to bring your knee towards your elbow. Inhale, reach it away. And again, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach it away. Maybe one more, up to you. Great, now as we reach away, remember this arm's gonna stay up in the air. Your knee comes towards your abdominals or your chest, and you start to bring the foot round to the top corner of your mat. Circle your left arm and bring it up for Pranayama on our second side here. So we just wanna feel, again, that same stretch that we received in the back thigh on the first side again here, but paying particular attention to the upper body. Find a softening on the exhale here. Really invite in a sense of ease. And as we bring the fingertips down, keeping the front body nice and open still, we start to pull the hips back. And we inhale forward. Again, we can take blocks here, guys. We can be here with our blocks, driving the hips back, which will feel a lot better than if we are trying to compensate in the spine for where we want to get our legs. So use your blocks if that starts to aid your spine a bit more, finding more length. That's always the aim here. Let's take one more. Exhale, taking it back. We're going to stay. Finding our breath, and then if we can, that right palm comes down, our left palm comes up towards the ceiling, finding a balance. Feel free to pop your hand on a block instead. Taking a breath in, breath out. One more breath. As we breathe out, let the fingertips come down towards your mat. Tuck your back toes. Again, let's step back to find our plank position. Take an inhale. Exhale, knees, chin, and chest, or we can come straight down onto the front of our bodies. Inhale back to your baby cobra or full cobra, up to you. Exhale, take it down towards the mat. Now as we get here, just let your forehead fall to the mat and hook your thumbs or interlace your fingers as we come into our locust pose. We're going to start to reach the knuckles back behind us, opening the chest. Finding this lift as we hold for 3 breaths. Option to add in the legs too, squeezing the inner thighs. See if you can keep your waist lifting up slightly off the mat here. We inhale for 1. Exhale for 1. Finding a little bit more space and length, reaching the knuckles back for 2. Exhale for 2. We inhale for 3. Exhale for 3, releasing the palms down towards the earth. Press yourself back, tuck your toes. Reach the palms away, draw your hips towards your heels. Allow your head to rest for a minute here. Inhale, exhale. Soften the elbows if you need to. But if you're enjoying this shoulder release that we get here, reach the palms a little bit further away. Taking your last full breath here. As we breathe out, start to walk the fingertips all the way in towards you. And we're going to join back on our mat together again with the feet at the top of our mat here. So just lift up your hips, bring them down towards the mat. Feel that your spine is lengthened, so think of your staff pose where heels reach away, palms come down, and we retract back these shoulder joints, sitting as tall as we can here, finding a lift. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Now keep active through the palms. You can start to bring them back slightly. We're going to bend our knees and lift our hips up into reverse tabletop. So as we lift the hips, keep your gaze there. An option to stay or join me with a lower. Pulling the hips up and back, squeezing through the core, pressing the floor away. And again, inhale, taking the hips up. Exhale, drawing them back. Now, depending on the length of your arms, you might need to call on your blocks for this one as well. So add them in if you find that your arms are just not long enough for that push through. Or even if you find that it's just not happening today, try your blocks out, because as you press into the heels and pull back, those blocks allow us to get a little bit more height there of the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Let's try one more together, guys. Inhale. Exhale. We're pausing there for 3, 2, 1. Come down onto your mat. Let yourself take a forward fold into Pashimotonasana, allowing the head to rest. Knees to bend if they need to here. So if you find that your tailbone, your pelvis gets stuck in a forward fold, bend the knees and just allow a little bit more length as you drape your upper body over your lower body. Relaxing through the shoulders. And then eventually you'll start to slowly walk the heels away until you feel like you've got so much more space in that upper body. So just take one more breath here. Exhale. And then start to take a roll up through the spine. Shuffle your hips down your mat ever so slightly. Leave your blocks to one side. And roll down using the vertebrae. Bend the knees if you need to here. You can also bend your knees and just start to make your way down onto your mat. And as we get there, I actually want you to bring your knees in, and if you can, cross your left leg over your right leg. That feels like too much today, you can just stack the knees. But crossing the legs, if that feels available, and taking them to one side, perhaps in the direction of a block, if we do feel like we need to prop the knees or the shins up ever so slightly, like so. Reach your arms out to the side. You could bend both of them or lengthen both of them. Play around with the arms and what feels good to you. And then also if you want to tilt your head back in the direction of your back arm. Now, the higher up the legs, or the knees towards the heart, the deeper our twist is going to be. And then the lower the knees away from the heart, the less intense. So you know your body better than anyone else. Lean in, listen in. What do you need more of, what do you need less of today? Breathing deeply here, softening through that left-hand side. Cultivating that sense of ease in the body, but also trying to mirror that in the mind. So if you find that your thoughts are slowly bringing you off that mat sooner than anticipated, Come back to your breath. Allow that to be your focal point. Taking our last inhale here. As we exhale, come back round to center. Take your time, unravel the legs. As you unravel the legs, take your palms onto the top of the thighs here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to press your thighs away, and that's going to feel really nice through the hips. And then release and cross the opposite leg. Shuffle your hips. Take it over to the opposite side. And again, in this position, we can start to bend the elbows, reach the arms. Same thing that you did the first side, trying to match that variation on this side. And if the crossing feels like too much, you can just stack the knees. Instead, using your blocks to be a sense of support. We don't want to be concerned with the knees pulling us away, that our shoulder comes off the mat. So blocks for the knees is always a good idea if that's happening. Use your inhales to invite in more of what we're after. And use your exhales to almost feel like you're just releasing any excess. Whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally, just letting that drain out. Drawing your back shoulder into the mat. Taking a few more moments to breathe. And then returning to center very slowly. Allowing the legs to either go out long for our Shavasana here, or Supta Baddha Konasana, knees out to the side if you're really needing a bit of an inner thigh release here. Alternatively, knees knocking in, soles of the feet out to the side. So 3 different options for you there as we come down into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Up to you to take either of them. Wherever you are, as you arrive, let your arms fall somewhere comfortable. Shuffle the shoulders away from your ears. Have this sense of opening up mind's eyes, so that space between the brows. We want to be open to receive. And we'll miss that opportunity if we want to be so much in control that we're closing ourselves off. So just enjoy a sense of gratitude for making it onto your mat, number 1, but 2, being open to a new experience. And then taking a second to just reflect on how that experience is impacting you in your daily life. Start to switch off through the body from the crown of the head down to the tips of the toes. When we come into our Shavasana, a deep and conscious level of our body begins to heal every single cell, joint capsule, tames the nervous system. Our lives are so on the go that a moment to pause is often what we're craving. So drop in, enjoy this opportunity here. For those of you who need to begin to make a move, bring the knees towards one side, completely rocking over, and take a moment to pause there so we're not rushing up with urgency, and then using your opposite palm to lead you up. See if you can let your head trail behind for a little bit, keeping the eyes closed. Coming to meet me in a comfortable seated position as we arrive all the way up on our mat. Just begin to shrug the shoulders up and back. Take 3. And then letting the shoulders just shrug forward. Taking the hands to heart center. Join me for a full breath in. So inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, release a big sigh out. Blue Monday is always better as a community when we're moving collectively. So I hope this is a lift your mood for today. Bring your thumb knuckles, that space between your brows. Incredibly grateful for you in this community, guys. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.